I didn't think I would do celebrity clients. Me as just doing clothes for just clothes. First of all, okay, yes, as an artist, I wanted to express my art through that. But then also I was looking for a way to survive. And then now comes the celebrity clients. When I was at school doing fine art, of course, Sylvia Owori was a big name. I always told myself I cannot lead unless I have followed. For me, that's just my mantra. If you see someone struggling with leadership, they've not properly followed. So I did not want to be one of those. I said I need to go to someone that knows how to do this, and then I see not just how they tailor, but everything from administration to finance and all that. Of course, I cannot say I got so much from there, but I learned some things that made me not be surprised when things happen to me in business. So I was like, oh, okay, I've seen this before. Yeah, so that's what it helped me with. So anyway, I went to Sylvia Owori with a file. It was a friend of mine, Raphael Kasule, that told me, Lillian, I got a job. Because for him it was like a year ahead. He told me, Lillian, I got a job at Sylvia's. So I asked him, Raphael, how did you get a job? So I mean, well, I don't remember if he really explained, but he had a job. I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can also work at Sylvia Owori's. So he tells me, you just carry all your work and come and try. I say, okay. I carry my whole file of work, go to African woman offices. That time they were in industrial area. So I get there and the lady, the receptionist asked me, are you on appointment? I tell her, yes, I'm on appointment. Because I knew if I had said no, they would not let me in. So I said, yes, I'm on appointment. She's like, okay, you wait. But she's like, are you really on appointment? I'm like, yes. She's like, well, you're not really on my list of people that are supposed to see the boss. I'm like, well, I think she forgot, but I'm on appointment. She's like, okay, so I wait in line. So Sylvia calls her on phone and asks her, who is waiting? Is there the people that are supposed to come today? Like, are they already in? So she says yes, not knowing I wasn't among those people. But because I was already waiting, she's like, yes. So she asks her to let me in. I go in and she looks at me like, who are you? But the confidence I had, as wearing my blue Kakondo heels, I was not about to live without a job. I get in there, she asks me, what's your name? Why are you here? I introduce myself, and then I tell her, I'm a student at Makerere, I'm yet to finish, but I believe that your company needs me. She turned her chair, she's like, I need you? How? I'm like, I know you need me. I know you need me. I know as a designer, you need someone else that can help you with designs. I can draw, I can talk to your clients, I can sell you designs. She looked at me interestingly with that eye of what? You know, you're so little with my dirty blue shoes. She's like, okay. So she's like, what can you do? I'm like, I already brought what I can do. The files are here. So I give her my files, she looks through. Then she's like, well, I don't really like to employ women here because women really have excuses. So I tell her, well, I want to be one of those. I will work every day, I will be on time, and I will not disappoint you. So she tells me, so she asks the people that were in the office, there was an accountant, she asks, Chris, should we give this little girl a job? And then Chris just smiles and says, I don't know. If she says what she is what she will do, then it's okay. So the question goes back to Sylvia, and then she tells me, well, because you say that you will come, you'll be prompt, you'll come every day, I'll give you a chance. But just know, I don't like lazy people, and I don't entertain laziness. So I will ask you to leave as soon as I see you being shoddy and all that. So I'm like, okay. So she tells me, let someone take you around, let them take you to the workshop, you start on Monday. Now, you people, when they were saying that, when she was saying that, for me, I'd already stopped understanding. I could not imagine. I had a job, and then she asked me on my first interview, how much do you want to earn? Hey, I said, Raphael, you didn't tell me. How much am I supposed to say? Guess what? Without credentials, without any books, I told her I want to get 600,000 shillings. She looks at me, of 600 for what? Tell her, because I deserve it. You will see. You will see what I'll do for you. So she tells Chris, this one will get 600,000 shillings, but after probation. Hey, so I'm put on probation for 2 months. You people, I had no money, but I had to come to work every single day, you know? And then I would see the tailors, they would be eating, I would not have lunch. But I would say, Lillian, it's okay. Probation, it's fine. So when I would come from home, I would pack something really small. But then I got tired of packing. So I would just go hungry the whole day, but I was happy. I was in that creative space, as seeing things happen, clothes being made, all the things in my dreams, you know? Beautiful dresses. That time we had, Sylvia was supposed to have a show in South Africa, and I was looking at how they're preparing for the show. I wasn't allowed to touch anything. I was, I think Batte, she just felt sorry for me. Or she just saw the hunger and just said, you know what, let me just let her be around us. Because what was I doing? I was just in there sketching, really sketching. Then I remember that we had a bride and groom. I think that time bride and groom was just starting. And they reached out to her to be among the first people to like pioneer it and all that. Hey, I designed a dress for bride and groom. What? When I would be working at home, I'd be like, guys, by the way, talk to me properly. I did that dress for bride and groom under Sylvia Owori. Yeah, so those were my very first steps. And then she really made me believe I can be, you know? Because for me to be a student, and then you to allow me to express myself and design something that you finally sign on and say, yes, this should pass to production. For me, that meant a lot. That meant a lot. And that was where many things began for me to think, okay, I think I can actually carry this. Now that I knew that, okay, I could be creative enough for someone to produce my design, then I began to ask myself, what do I do when it comes to managing this that I have? Because what am I going to do if I wake up and want to do my own business, you know? And then I began to watch how the affairs that would happen at the workshop. I was very keen, meanwhile, even when she would say, Lillian, you can go home. I would say, no, I'll work overtime. But remember, I had curfew at home. So I would work overtime and go home and fight with my parents of why are you late? What are you doing out? All those things. But I really loved what I was doing. And I knew at this point of there's nothing I can do. And then also another person that really contributed to that was that lecturer that was helping us with our painting class with Oscar. The lecturer, one of those days, we walked into the lecture room and then he did not mark, he just lectured us like a parent. He told us, you people, you have done art. No one is going to employ you. Don't even dream about it. No one is going to hire that man. We walked out sad. Some people walked out crying, but at least we had known the truth. He told us no one will give you jobs. So you either create them or you are finished. I thought. So all those things that I was doing them with that mindset of no one might ever come to my rescue or help me. So I have to do this for myself. And I remember for our year, many people actually really tried to start businesses, and some of them are still, they've kept them. So yeah, so for me, that's where this whole fashion thing is really grounded, yeah?
Who was that lecturer?
Oh, Mr. Bernard Godfrey. I don't know if he's still lecturing, but I don't know. I hope one day he gets to know that he really helped us by just giving us those words of wisdom that day. He did not teach that day. He did not mark. We just walked in and he just spoke his heart.
Reality check.
Yes, reality check. You know, second year. And we were like, okay, no one is going to employ us. What do we do? We began to think. I remember some of my friends began their photography businesses. We had friends who were in One Day Gear. They were doing photos. I think Oscar moved to Sir Apollo Kagawa. He was also doing photos. We had the Hilary Mujizis. Now he's doing Eziwear. Yeah, yes. So we have the Andrew Semandas. They're doing watercolor painting. Still lessons from Mr. Banada and Mr. Gokcho. We had, you know, also Taga was an influence. So yes, my that time, that's when everyone found what to do. But from that kind of class of guys, wake up or you're finished.
So who are some of the celebrities that you made dresses for?
Desire Luzinda, Jackie Chandiru, Grace Nachimera. I don't know if I can remember everyone. Maureen Nantume. There's so many celebrities. I don't know, I have to look at my page, but yes, so many people. But yes, how I began with the celebrities. I remember that time I had left, leaving Sylvia Owori's. Where was I going? I still wasn't going to be around. I think we were traveling with my family for a summer holiday. So also that time she was downsizing, yeah? So I told her, you know what? I don't think I'm going to come back. She's like, it's okay. And then I moved with my family for a 2 weeks vacation. And at that point is when I was like, okay, now I'm going back home, but I'm going back home to nothing. I don't have that job anymore because I said I'm out. Now for those 2 years I'd been saving my money. I would be given 600,000 shillings. I was saving 500 every month. So I had gotten some money. I went to Kabalagala, and my very first shop was in Kabalagala. I was a very, very young girl. So I go to Kabalagala, find a shop, and pay the rent up front, like 4 months. But you guys, you pay rent, and then you don't know what next. I don't have clients. I don't have anything. Yeah, so I was in there, but I was happy to be there to start. So when I'm there, I remember I had some kitenge fabrics that didn't really look kitenge. The prints were not really our indigenous prints. They were quite colorful too. So I had dummies, those cloth dummies. So I find a way to, okay, because I traveled, so I'd seen how people in London do their window displays, what. So now I was trying to think, fashion designer, fashion student, yeah? Stepping into my role. I get my fabric, put it on the dummies. Now when I drape it on the dummies, I think that time it was only Woodin that was draping fabric on the dummies, and then I was also picking from there, then I was also picking influence from other places that I traveled to. So I put the clothes on the dummies. Then one of those days, there's a lady called Josephine. One of those days, she's in a taxi moving from town to Bunga. She used to stay in Bunga. And then she stops. The taxi stopped at the stage. She gets out. She didn't get out because she was supposed to stop in Kabalagala. She told me she saw something different in that window display. So she was drawn, it was actually later around 7, she was drawn to come and see what's there. So when she comes, she finds an empty shop, but fabrics are on the dummies. So she asked me, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a fashion designer, stroke tailor, I can do something for you. So she tells me, really? Then she's like, these things look different. They don't look like normal clothes. I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist. I can do, you can tell me what you want and then I'll do it. So she's like, okay. I have a friend who needs some clothes and they are urgent. I tell her, I can do it. So I thought it was a normal friend. So she left. 2 days later, she comes back. She comes with Jackie Chandiru. Everyone on the building, they are all following. Where is Jackie going? They are following their celebrity. Kumbe Bambi, they are coming to my small humble shop. Hey. So anyway, I began with Jackie Chandiru. I did clothes for Gold Digger. It was that particularly gold dress. I cannot forget it because it was such a challenge for me. I had never done work that magnitude alone, yeah? Personally tailoring and designing with someone. So that was my very first gig, and then I did all the dancer costumes. But now when I look at them, I'm like, what were we doing? But yes, we did that. So yeah, from Gold Digger, I did Grace Nachimera. I remember that song, whatever, yeah, that one. That piece, I remember it was like a carnival thing. We didn't have feathers, of course, in Uganda. Also, the textile market had not really grown, so we didn't have feathers around. So we got sack material, painted it. I picked a leaf from Senson's graffiti things that he used to do. I go to Nakasero, pick paint, spray paint. We spray the sacks. Meanwhile, I was using my family as a labor. Yeah, my brothers were the ones painting. Told them, you guys, bring paint, then shred the sack material. So it looked like feathers in the video. And that's how we, started out. After Grace Nachimera, I did Desire Luzinda. I don't remember what the song was, but yeah, we did Desire. And then, then the artists kept coming. One would recommend another. Then that's when I also did Miss Uganda with Brenda Nanyonjo. Then because I was already a fashion student. While my siblings were buying clothes for themselves, for me, I was not really buying clothes. I was buying fabrics from a fabric store. I would get I was very fascinated by fabrics that had texture, so I was buying all those. So when I come back, I knew Brenda from Sylvia. So she told me she was starting Miss Uganda. So I tell her, I have some fabrics I brought from London. Maybe we could start with these. She's like, okay. So she's like, you're sure? I'm like, yes, we can start with these ones. I remember the very first dress, the one that I really, really, really loved. It's Sylvia Namtebi that wore it. White dress. I'd picked the floral fabric from one fabric store in London. And I really wanted to see how the dress turns out. It had a net at the bottom and then flowers all over. So yeah, so for me, that's how I've, managed to do things over the years with different people. Yeah.